The Arrowverse has started off strong this season with yet another great episode. So this is going to be my review for Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, Episode 1, titled Aruba-con. Last season, the cliffhanger ended on that they broke time. In this episode, it feels like it's more like they messed up time a little bit. It doesn't feel all that different. I mean, there are dinosaurs, and Julius Caesar's there, but everything else, Star City, Central City, and what's that place called? Silicon Valley. They all look like real normal cities. So I think they like overhyped the cliffhanger last year because they didn't really mess up time all that much. This episode introduced us to the Time Bureau and Rip Hunter, who has been he's different now. But his sudden change in character feels a little forced. He says he's been on the Time Bureau for 5 years, and so obviously in 5 years he's gonna change his haircut and he's gonna change a little. But in this episode, he flat out says the team sucks. He says using your team for anything is like doing a surgery with a chainsaw. He created that team, so he's basically making fun of himself. It honestly, it feels a little forced, but we didn't see the 5 years where he was building the Time Bureau, so we don't know what happened to him. So obviously it makes sense, but it still feels a little forced. Just like in Season 2, the season starts off with the legends scattered around somewhere. In Season 2 it was time, now it's the United States. And although it's weird they never mentioned Citizen Steel on The Flash, it seems like he said he's the second most popular superhero there, according to himself. So that means Kid Flash is the most popular, he's the second most popular, and Vibe is the third most popular. I don't understand why they never mentioned him on Episode 1 of The Flash. But either way, it was actually really cool seeing the legends spread throughout the country. Ray was in Silicon Valley, which we've never seen before. We've never visited Silicon Valley in the Arrowverse before. Sarah was in Star City. Nate was in Central City. And also Firestorm was in Central City. It actually made the universe feel bigger and especially connected when Nate and Wally just casually have a conversation. They literally have never met before, but half a year has passed, so now they're buddies. It's pretty cool. This episode actually strengthened the dynamic between the legends. In Season 1 and 2, they felt like teammates. They more like friends in 2, but in this episode, they actually felt like friends. Ray and Nate had a really great moment, or a couple great moments, just bro moments. Jackson Stein had a great story. Sarah and Mick had a great moment at the end. All those moments were really great. It just strengthened the dynamic between the legends. Made them feel like friends. More like friends than teammates. Julius Caesar is probably the main villain of this episode, and he was actually a good villain. I don't think they've ever had a villain that's like a real person from the past as a really good villain on Legends before. He was portrayed really well. It didn't make any sense that he knew English, but then they explained it. There was some temporal anomaly or something, but he was actually a good villain. Now, Vixen was barely in this episode, and to be honest, I didn't miss her at all. It doesn't make sense. It just makes sense for her to stay in 1942 because that's what she did in the normal timeline. If she doesn't do that, then the present day Vixen would never been born, or would never have come to America. So what I think they should do is just get rid of this Vixen. She just goes back to the 40s, and the new Vixen, I don't think the actress is doing anything anymore. So just bring her. Just have her on the Legends instead. The best thing about this episode is it's really, really fun. I actually couldn't stop smiling for the entire episode, and also laughing a couple times because it was pretty funny. This episode was just like a 42-minute package of fun, and that's the best thing about Legends of Tomorrow. It's a wacky superhero show that's so fun, and this episode was especially fun. So as I said, the Arrowverse is definitely off to a good start. Flash was amazing. Supergirl was actually pretty good. Legends was great. So this episode is really fun. All the things I said, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. So what do you think about the episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.